Are you considering Florida as your residence or a domicile? Do you know the difference between the two? How many days do you need to be in Florida, or do you need to be in Florida at all? We're going to cover that and more today. Hi, I'm Don Drury. I'm the president of Moran Wealth Management, and I'm here to discuss why Florida. Florida seems to be a particularly great place and has attracted a lot of new residents. And you may be on the precipice of retiring and looking for a place to move and considering Florida amongst many other states. And one of the consistent questions we get on a regular basis is, what are the aspects and what are the important considerations in regards to Florida? There are a couple terms that are used regularly that are distinct and separate, and often they're confused. So let's chat about those first, and that is residency versus domicile. And so you can only have one domicile, but you can have multiple residencies. And so you may have a home in Kentucky, a home in Georgia, and a home in Florida. Those are three different residences. However, you have one domicile, and that's the state in which you elect to call home, and you abide by the taxation and the other issues that come with being a resident of or domiciling within a state. So why Florida? Other than beaches, palm trees, a lot of golf courses, there are other very attractive reasons why Florida. And first and foremost, for most people, it's no state income tax, no inheritance tax. There are tremendous asset protection aspects behind being a Florida resident or domiciling in Florida. There is a limit on property tax assessment. Think about recently how property prices have appreciated tremendously. Florida does a cap, instills a cap for residents that have domiciled, and that is the lower of 3% or CPI, whichever is lower. So that's a fantastic aspect, saves people a lot of money. One of the biggest aspects is income tax. No income tax is particularly important when we're retiring. All of a sudden, now we're taking a portfolio, we're turning that into a stream of income, and every dollar that you can save is more that you can either leave to your children or increase a lifestyle or have a greater security in retirement. So that's critically important. A lot of clients ask, well, how do I domicile in Florida? And there are a few important components that someone needs to do. Usually, the first and foremost is you do an official declaration of domicile. Let's say it's Florida. You file a declaration of domicile saying, today is April 17th, 2025, and I officially declare Florida as my domicile. That's one aspect, but there are many other aspects that need to come into play for this to work effectively. Secondarily, you need to register to vote. You need to title your cars. Most importantly, one of the biggest aspects, Florida doesn't care how much time you spend in Florida. The entity that cares is the state you are leaving. They're losing a taxpayer. So depending upon how much you were paying in taxes, whether you have businesses and a lot of other things, there may be some eyes in terms of ensuring that you're doing this properly. So again, Florida doesn't care how long you'll be here. The state that cares is the state you're extracting yourself from. And traditionally, the rule is 183 days. And that is, you need to be outside the state you're leaving for at least 183 days. Doesn't mean that you can't still have a house there, visit there, go on a regular basis, but you need to be outside that state for that length of time. You don't have to be in Florida. You can be, hopefully, vacationing, visiting kids, doing a lot of other things. But that is definitely a test. And it gets as intricate If some states are very aggressive and they will begin to check and see if you are abiding by all the aspects of becoming a resident of Florida or any other state. And throughout that process, you may get a call from your former state. And one of the things that people don't think about but comes up is, hey, where do you keep your wedding album? Where are you going to church? What clubs do you belong to? Where are your heartstring assets? A lot of states will want to know where those are. That is indicative of where your real home is. So in addition to registering, titling your car, voting, a great thing to do is file a final and partial year estate in your state you're extricating yourselves from. That is somewhat sending an official notice to that state, hey, I'm leaving. Here's the last 117 days that I've been in the state. Here's my tax payment. That coupled with your official domicile and all the other aspects, you're putting yourself in a great position for Florida or any other state you may move to as being your official domicile. So those are some of the aspects you may want to consider and give thought to in terms of declaring a domicile in Florida. That is only scratching the surface. There's a lot more to this. If you have additional questions, concerns, want to talk to someone about your situation and how that might apply to you, feel free to reach out to us. There'll be a link in the description. We've helped so many individuals, and we certainly think we can help you as well. That's our take on Florida domicile, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a future edition.